Hey guys, welcome back to the Hemo Life podcast. I know it has been a minute since our last episode, but there is a reason why it's been some time. It's been over a month since our last episode. I started the podcast with the hopes of just doing things bigger and better. I invested in the equipment, I built out my studio here, and we started off really, really fast. We had a lot of really cool guests, a lot of ideas. And, starting a podcast was completely new to me. So, there was a lot of trial and error along with that process as well, from the, capturing the video the right way, the editing process, breaking down the content into reels and sharing it that way. So, there was many times when, I would do a full episode and, you guys never got to see it because there was a lot of errors in there, whether it had to do with the audio or visual part. But that being said, you know, we made some noise. We made some noise in the community. People saw us. I was going to events and I had the opportunity to have lots of different individuals come up to me and thank me for creating a platform like this, a platform that is genuine, that will speak the truth, that doesn't have somebody creating guidelines and rules. A lot of times you'll see other podcasts or other events or whatever it is in our community that's sponsored by manufacturers. And I did that growing up. I used to do talks all across the country. It was an amazing experience. Really allowed me to try to tell my story. But what I realized is when you're dealing with manufacturers in the community, there's a lot of red tape. There's a lot of things you can say and can't say. And I felt like I wasn't always being 100% true to myself and sharing my legit story. And, that's been my thing ever since I started posting on social media years ago. Sometimes I got in trouble because I was too vulnerable. I would tell everything that I was going through, from the depression. I let you guys see me at the worst times. I involved some of the community too much into relationships when I was in my early 20s. And there were just so many things, so many battles going on during that time. Maybe I overshared a little bit, but I've grown from all of those things. And I think that's the most important part. And that's, what has made me who I am, the man that I am proud of to be today, is it's not how many times you fail, but it's how many times you get back up. And then the important part is that you take accountability, full accountability in every situation, whether it was all your fault or not. You learn, you make adjustments, you pivot, and you grow. So that's what I love about this Hemo Life podcast. I've built a community online, whether you love me or hate me. A lot of times you've probably heard about me, you've seen me at events, and I've stayed true to myself. I know that I'm not going to be liked by everyone, and I'm 100% okay with that. And I love the space that I am in mentally, because I also know the impact that I've made. I know all the one-on-one conversations that I've had with people who are depressed, who saw the darkness, who needed help, who didn't have the support system. We're all in a different phase while we're battling our bleeding disorder. And, some of us don't have that support system. And I've been able to be there for a lot of individuals for many, many years. And as I grew my personal platform, and as I matured, I realized I needed to create a platform that was bigger than me, where it allowed other people to speak, to tell their truth, because I knew how crucial that was to my growth. That being said, because, I've just stayed true, because I was relentless and consistent with putting out content, we've made enough noise to get a new partnership, and a partnership that's outside the hemophilia community. So as you guys can see in the back, the Hemo Life podcast is going to be sponsored by Rise. One of Rise's partners is a severe hemophiliac, Dr. Joe Moleski, and he truly believes in what we're doing. What I love about Dr. Joe Moleski is he's a visionary as well. He can see the current state of where the hemophilia community is. We get to talk to so many people, whether manufacturers, and industry people, whatever. And the common theme is that all these events are kind of getting mundane. It's just the same thing, same information, same resources over and over and over again. But are we truly moving the needle forward? Are we truly adapting and meeting people where they are, where they want to be, giving them the right information. And based off of what I hear and see, I don't think we are. And that's where having these outside the industry partnerships and having individual leaders who can see these things and push and not be scared, be courageous to go against the grain and bring something new to the community. This is how change is going to happen, by us coming together, putting our heads together, our resources together, meeting with people, having direct conversations and asking what their needs are. That's what we're doing. So with that being said, guys, Hemo Life is getting a complete ramp up of our studio, our quality of videos. It's going to be amazing, guys. We're going to be headquartered in Texas. I already got to see the space. It's huge. I mean, I'm talking an amazing, amazing setup. We're going to have 6 different cameras. We're going to have this amazing looking booth, like a legit, like right now you see I got a paper sign up there from Walgreens. Well, we're upgrading. We're going to have a huge like LED sign. It's going to be insane. We're going to have all the amazing conversations that we went out there. We're not going to be following any guidelines. It's going to be kind of just raw, uncensored. We can talk about life. We can talk about relationships. We can talk about, depression, mental health, athletics, whatever it is. And it doesn't necessarily have to just be all around, what our struggles are, but it could just be having these genuine conversations about meeting people where they're at in their life currently and having some kind of mentorship. That's what we truly believe in. That's what this Rise partnership, Hemo Life partnership is going to be all about. A long, long time ago when I started my journey, I realized that I could have been so much further ahead mentally, spiritually, emotionally, physically, if I had a mentor in my life who has walked in my shoes and who could eliminate these limiting beliefs that I had, that I couldn't do things. But that's why we're here. That's why we're stepping up as leaders. That's why we're going to be leading by example, growing together with you guys. But we're not going to just grow and make it to the top on our own. We're going to reach our hands out. We're going to bring you guys up with us. So we're going to have these genuine conversations. Where are you in your life? Are you struggling to realize your dreams? Well, guess what? We have a doctor with severe hemophilia who had a dream, who didn't come from money, who said, I'm going to be a doctor. I'm going to grind. I'm going to make it happen. Now he's an owner of Rise, and he owns his own pharmacy. I mean, he's a businessman, an entrepreneur. That's truly, truly, truly inspiring. He's inspired my life. And, even for myself, I haven't really talked about it, but I'm starting my own business as well. And I'm learning so much from such high level people who have already accomplished the things that I want to accomplish. And, that's how you get somewhere. That's how you create change. You have to learn from somebody who's already walked that path, who's already coming back from that path that you want to be on. So let's help each other out. That's what these conversations are going to be about. It's going to be mentorship. We're going to get on there and we're going to just talk through life, talk through what those obstacles are like, and just make each other better. So I'm super, super excited. I'm super grateful. My journey has been so many ups and downs, and I've just stayed consistent. I knew what my mission was. I knew what I wanted my legacy to be for my family, for the community. And it's just amazing to see God work and open up these doors for me. God has been a huge part of my life and my faith into him. And I wish you guys knew some of the stories of how he's helped me working with other hemophiliacs individually, how he's helped me to impact their lives. It's not through me. And I have to remind myself of that every single day, that these things don't happen because I'm so great, because I'm so good, because I'm so worthy. But God is allowing these opportunities to happen. And, having discipline, having the will to grow, to keep on learning, God will use you like he's using me to do certain great things. And in order for us to keep on growing and doing amazing things, we have to collaborate. So whether you love me, you hate us, you're jealous of us, you're not jealous of, I don't really know what it is, but I think it's important to know that we don't care. We don't care because our message isn't for you if that's the way you feel. And we know the people that we're impacting, and it's going to be amazing. One huge thing that is going to be really amazing about the Hemo Life podcast is we have a professional videographer and editor. I don't know if you guys saw recently on my Instagram page, Facebook page, we're having a huge event to kind of launch everything off. It's going to be at Alphaland gym. It's going to be a mentorship program. It's going to be one of the best events ever. There is still time to sign up for that. If you guys want to go look at my Instagram page, send me a DM if you are in the Texas area. This is just going to be for Texas residents only for now. And then hopefully we can keep on expanding. And I sent out a bunch of emails. We had a bunch of people register. Because of the huge response, we have now had to limit how many spots we're going to open up. So we do still have a few left. If you're interested in attending that event, I promise you, you guys do not want to miss this. It's going to be an amazing event. We're going to have our videographer there. We're going to be shooting some amazing content. And guys, about content, that's where we meet people that we're wanting to serve, right? I mean, I don't know why the hemophilia community is so far behind this. I mean, there's only a few people out there who are creating content that is actually going to be engaging, not just content about what new medications are coming or what doctors we can talk to, all this stuff. Like, no, we need real, genuine connections. We need some lifestyle videos. There's just so many amazing things that we can do with content. And that's how we're going to have to reach people. Slowly companies are catching on. I'm working with Hemophilia News Today. They're trying to grow as a company too, because they want to give back. And it's just all about the content game. So I don't know how long it's going to take for everyone to catch up, but I think we're about 5 years behind as a community, and we need to do better. We need high quality. We need engaging content. And, that's how we're going to bring people in. All these people that I've been meeting and helping, these are individuals that you will never see at any of these events. They've never attended them. I talk to them and they talk about how, they would go, but they don't. So there's just so many people out there that we don't even know, that we're not even reaching. So let's reach them. Let's reach them with content. And so stay tuned, guys. That's what you're going to see over this next, the rest of this year, moving forward with the partnership with Rise. We're going to have amazing content, amazing quality. I mean, if you guys look at that video on Instagram and Facebook, that's amazing. That quality is amazing. My son called me and was like, dude, you got to shoot me one of those videos, man. Like, that's legit quality. And I'm like, I know, man. Like, this is what we're going to be doing. This is what we're doing moving forward. Behind the scenes has taken a lot. So I appreciate you guys hanging in there with me. One thing I want to talk about today, guys, that really shook me up was the death of Charlie Kirk. It put me in a really, really bad mood today. And, I've been following him and his journey, and I'm not a political person, but, logic is logic. And whenever he was debating people and he could articulate his thoughts in a way that just made sense, no matter what side you're on. And so I just loved it. I was following all of his content. I loved how he glorified God in everything that he did. He glorified what it means to be a man and how to treat a lady. And he was just a one-of-a-kind leader. And it's just truly, truly sad to see a leader like that gone. And as angry as I was today, we have to dig deep, and, a guy like Charlie wouldn't want us to fight back, but he would want us to draw closer to God, to glorify God in everything. And what's really crazy is every single morning when I wake up, I have like a little Bible reading, and the reading today, it's about death. And I wanted to share that with you guys. And maybe this will help people who are kind of dealing with, what happened and not able to process it. 1 Thessalonians 4:13. We do not want you to be uninformed, brothers, about those who are asleep, that you may not grieve as others do who have no hope. As painful and tragic and sorrowful as death is, believers in Christ need not surrender their hope and joy in the midst of the grief. Paul's first hint that death is not the end is that he used the word sleep to describe those who have passed. Sleep is nothing to dread. It is restful and it is temporary. And following the example of his Savior, Paul calls us to a realization of this truth, nature of death. Because of the resurrection of Jesus Christ, death is no longer the greatest enemy of God's people. It is now a great friend, because it ushers us into the presence of God forever. And the hymn writer reminds us it is not death to die, to leave this weary road, and midst the brotherhood on high, to be at home with God. The one then who grieves hopelessly at the death of a loved one, Paul implies, is not realistic, but ignorant. He or she is unaware or forgetful of the goodness and faithfulness and power of God. It is as if Paul is saying, wake up to the fact that your loved one is only sleeping. So are you ignorant of this truth yourself? Then take these words to heart. Jesus Christ has utterly conquered death, and he will soon bring every one of us home to himself. That's how I'm going to end this episode, guys. Like I said, I've been in a really bad mood after hearing about all of that. But it just puts everything into perspective about keeping your family close, not knowing when your time is coming. And even when you're trying to be a leader, a faithful leader, these things can happen, but it's not the end. So Charlie is with God, and I just pray for his family.